Hey everyone, thanks for joining. Good afternoon, good morning, and good night. Thanks for joining another episode of PR Facts. Today I'm talking about how to plan a successful launch. And this is actually quite relevant because I know a lot of you are releasing books and releasing brands and releasing new products and whatnot for 2016. So hopefully you get a lot that you can take away from today's scope. So the first thing about planning a successful launch, which I find is very often overlooked, is to get help. I mean, you can't do it all on your own. And the more people you get on board, you're going to be extending the reach of your promotion to their following. So get sponsors, get ambassadors on board, but remember to give them everything that they're going to need. If it's flyers, the exact text that you want them to tweet, if you're going to give them content for their newsletter, you can even drill down and go as far as giving them the date and the time that you want them to promote, and then follow up with them. If you don't see the tweet go out, follow up with them, which I know is a lot to ask if you're not paying them anything, but you really want to get people on board who want to support you and want to see you succeed. So you give them everything that they need, and just make sure that you follow up and make sure that they're sending the stuff out. So you really got to get some help with doing your launch promotion. Now, in terms of planning, make sure that you put everything on a calendar. So what days are your advertising going to be running? What days are your flyers going to go out? What days are you going to send out tweets? And also make sure you're recording the promotional days of your sponsors and your ambassadors that you have on board. So this way it makes it much easier to track and monitor what you have going on, but also you're going to be able to make adjustments as you go, because maybe there's some things that are not going to be working. So you're going to say, okay, we're not going to put so much into the advertising budget this week. We're going to kind of tone that down and focus more on social media management. So once you have everything on your calendar and stuff that's going on with your sponsors as well, it's much, much easier to track and monitor what you have going on and make adjustments as you go. The next thing to remember is to have all of your materials ready. And, if you can plan things out 2 months, even 3 months in advance, make sure you have everything ready, because the last thing you want is that you have a date set to send out a flyer and the flyer isn't designed. So you want to take 1 month. Let's say you're launching in January or February. December is the time to produce all of your material, press releases, flyers, videos. Make sure it's reviewed and approved and ready to go for the month let's say the month after or 2 months after that you're going to be launching your product or your service or your book or whatever it is. So have all your materials ready. And then the last thing is get the media involved. Again, if it's a book, send them your book to review, invite them out to your launch event, go through all the details of your new service with them. Try to get them involved as much as possible, because they also in turn act as brand ambassadors if they're to cover the story about your launch. I'm just going to go back a little bit to the part about planning. One other thing that you have to remember is to scope out all of your communication vehicles that you're going to use for promotion. So if it's Facebook groups or LinkedIn groups that you find would be a great place to share your promotion, have all of that listed somewhere. If it's going to be on YouTube, if it's going to be on Facebook, you're advertising. Where are you going to be advertising? Are you going to book out the side of a bus, or are you going to cover a subway station? Track all the areas that you can promote, and then have that as well on your calendar. So just to recap, make sure you get people on board. You can't do it alone. Get sponsors, get ambassadors, influential people as much as possible, but you can get friends as well. Maybe promise to promote them in return, or name them as a sponsor of your launch. The next thing is to plan, put everything on your calendar, but make sure you know where you're going to be sharing your promotions. If it's on social media, if it's through advertising, if it's through a newsletter, have all your communication vehicles as well as the exact content of your advertising or your promotion. Have all your materials ready, press releases, advertising, design, whatever it is, have it ready the month before, reviewed and approved and ready to go, so you can just plug it into your calendar for the months coming. And then get the media involved, invite them to your launch. If you are inviting them to an event launch, just make sure you have someone there to take care of them, because the media have a very short window of time to get in, get their story, and get out. The last thing you want is to have them come to your event and they're searching high and low for you or for someone on your staff to give a comment or to give some feedback or some kind of review of the product that you are launching. So make sure you have someone there. Maybe you have a separate media registration so that immediately, as soon as they come, they're brought to you to do your interview or to speak to one of your staff about the launch. So that's all I have for today. Hopefully you've gotten some great insight from today's scope. Don't forget, PR Life is now live. If you need to define your brand, connect with the media, or grow your following, then PR Life is the program for you. Just visit sandragabriel.com, click on PR Life in the menu, and you'll have all the information there. And lastly, don't forget to find and follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'd love to connect with you. Just do a search for Sandra Gabriel, and there I'll be. Thanks again, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. Ciao.